working and the maid is there, I will send my child, get me, I don't get your dad juice, get me this. I send my children work. Actually, one of them said, Mommy, one time she said, Mommy, it's good for children to work, but it's also good for babies. They said, it's good for babies to work, but it's also good for babies to rest. Because of that background of mine of us having, Mommy sending everyone except us, I am one of the, when they send these jokes on social media about African mothers, I'm like that. When I see my children just there, it disturbs me. I'm like, so I have errands for them. So my daughter was saying, Mommy, okay, we have worked, but let us also rest. Their dad agrees with them. So my children work, not because I'm punishing them, but for them to get a strong work ethic. Because my dad used to take his nephews to the farm, take his nephews to the village, and they work while my brothers were at home. Today, it's clear that was a mistake. Jacob went away with all of Laban's wealth. And then the sons started saying Jacob has stolen. Jacob's first cousins are saying he had stolen their dad's wealth. But their dad had allowed Jacob to work. So your nieces and nephews, you're taking them with you to the farm. When you're going to the market, you go with them. You're sending them on all errands, and your children are there on PS. They are watching TV. They are just idle. I know parents who come to work with dirty cars and they have teenage children at home. Seriously. I know parents who take their cars to a washing bay when they have teenage children at home. Idle. Let them wash the car. If you need a professional wash once in a month, take it to wash. You have idle children at home. And so those are the things. We are cursed with a curse if we don't change. To invest in strangers more than us, you've invested in work ethic in your maid, in your gardener more than your children. Who bewitched you? The second mistake that is also in the Bible, we see it with Eli, Prophet Eli, we see it with Samuel. Now, the thing of Samuel is so tragic because when God was getting rid of Eli, he told Samuel, remember when God called Samuel 3 times and he didn't know it was God calling him? And then Eli told him, say, here I am, you speak to me. God told Samuel, I'm going to zap everything Eli. Eli will go, his sons will go, even the next generation. He said, I will not even, there is no male in the family who will live to old age. Then he said, even those who go past the old age, they will be blind. I mean, God had really had it with this family. And he said, he tells Samuel, God tells Samuel that time, Samuel is 8 or 9, he says, I have judged Eli because of the sin he knew about regarding the actions of his sons and failed to restrain them. I have seen so many parents with teenage children, older even, whose children are doing wrong things, but the parents are reluctant to correct them and they fail to restrain them. That thing caused Eli's house to, Samuel was not, he was a Benjaminite. He was not from a Levite. Eli was a Levite. God had said the priests had to come from the line of, no, I think it was Ephraimite. I mean, it be confusing. God had said that all priests have to be Levites. He changed his mind and made Samuel a priest. Samuel is not a Levite, but that's how, for failing to restrain his sons. Anyone who is under the hearing of my voice, get
Tendo.
May God give us wisdom to prepare our heirs, to prepare the children who are going to take over from us. I like what one parent said. Children, one of the comments, it said, children see what we do, not what we say. It's monkey see, monkey do. The children are going to learn from what we are doing. We have to set an example for them, but also we have to be intentional. Bringing up children, we have to be intentional. And I told you that jury is still out on my children. My children are too young for me to put them as an example. They are too young. The jury is still out on them. My oldest is 20, my youngest is 13. I can't use my children. But guys, we have to be intentional. Nothing just happens. We have to be intentional on bringing them up. It's not going to happen. Look at the British royal family. Let's take an example from them. They concentrate so much on the heir and they neglect the spare. We all know that Diana did not like how Charles was brought up, but Charles was brought up to be the next king. There were some things he couldn't do. There are some places he didn't go. He studied in a school in Switzerland where there were, I think, 5 in the class. He went to Australia. On the other hand, what's his name? Andrew. Andrew was called Randy Andy. He was allowed to run amok. He was allowed to womanize. He was allowed to. Today, you all know the story of how the movie has ended. He has been stripped of all honor, stripped of all his titles. The queen had to pay £2 million to the charity of that lady, the girl who has taken Andrew down. Why? He did not start today when Andrew is 65 or something. He started in his childhood. He was the spare. They let him do what he wanted. Charles was the one who was supposed to be king. They brought him up well. Diana tried her best, put her children in public school, but still the emphasis was on William. You see how William has turned out. It is not rocket science. It's not magic. Look at our friend Harry. You marry a divorcee, she's going to leave him. It's clear. We can write the script of that movie. And he has turned on his inheritance. It's upbringing. But before we sit and judge the royal family, let us look at ourselves. You want that son to be the heir. What input are you doing? If you have many sons, and I don't believe in that thing of heir and spare, because that's what the royal family do. They have spares and the heirs. But all your children, what are you doing to impart values? One thing we pray about with David says we have invested in our daughters, investment of time, of energy, of prayer, how I have fasted, how I have prayed, of resources. It would be a shame if we don't now do what we need to do, our part, to bring them up with values, to bring them up to be people who we can hand over this inheritance. I don't want my daughter to go and marry a lumpen. She can do all the right things, and she marries a lumpen. And all of it goes up in smoke. All my energy, all my prayers, all my fasting, it shall not happen, not on my watch. And what happens? It's a daily thing. You don't start once a month when they come before, it's daily. The Bible says in Isaiah 28:10 that precept shall be upon precept. Precept shall be upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Let them polish their shoes. My children start to polish their shoes in P2 and wash their socks. My daughter's teacher was telling me when she got to P2 that, how come this girl these days doesn't want to leave her socks on? They make them take off their shoes and they walk around in socks. My daughter went and asked the teacher, can I take off my socks? So I was wondering, what is it? Why is she taking off her socks? I say she started washing them herself. They wash their socks and they polish their shoes in P2 and start washing their underclothes. P6, you start washing your own clothes. They are yours. Yes, they will kuguba, they will turn brown, but that's how you learn. Some of us started washing when we got together, when we were forced to laugh. So they wash their clothes, not because it's a punishment. One of the things that I fear the most, I pray for my children, and I've told them how I brought them up. I said, what will happen if you meet Mr. Right and he's poor? Many of these husbands, these people we married, they were straight out of campus. They had nothing. These days, everyone is complaining that girls want bagalabi wedde. They want someone who is rich. And I'm telling you that you're going to miss Mr. Right. You're going to miss a good man because he's not rich. Let me train you how to work, how to improvise, so that when you meet Mr. Right and he doesn't yet have it all, and you're working together to build this, you can cope. Wash your clothes. You're the ones who use your bathrooms. Why should someone wash your child, clean their bathroom when they are the ones who use it? So for me, it's those things that, and like I said, I saw the mistakes my mom made. I saw the mistakes my parents made. I see mistakes. I will learn from others' mistakes. And I say, okay, let me train my child. But it's line upon line, precept upon, here a little, there a little. You don't wake up with one grand thing. Whether it's sweeping the courtyard, whether I'm at a point where my children comfortably cook for themselves. I say, the chef is not for you. First work and get to my level. Make your own food. You're the one going to eat it. You're the hungry one. Let me teach you how to. So S1 we start, for the oldest I started in S1, I woke up late. The younger, the next one I did from P6, even this other, the last one from P6, they cook. But my house, I've told my children that I do my marriage the way the Bible says it. I take everything. I mean, for me, I follow the biblical principles. So I do what I do for their dad because I love him. When see some things on social media, demonizing us for loving our husbands, demonizing us. Oh, both of you have come back from work. He's tired and you're so tired. Why do you have to? For me in my house, that's not how it is. It's not like that. I want to spoil my husband. It is a choice. It's an adult choice. I'm above 18. I want to spoil David. And it's monkey see, monkey do. If I spoil David, they will also spoil their husbands. And that is not a sin. It's not a crime. You cannot prosecute me for that. I will pamper David. When he comes home, I tell the girls, Daddy has come back to his castle. This is his place for non-judgmental environment. He has been wherever he has come from. People are throwing comments. People are saying things. They've harassed him. You know how it is at the workplace. We get harassed. The boss shouts at you. What? When you come home, you should come to a non-judgmental environment. And I tell the girls that I do this because I love your dad, not because I have to. But the way the feminists put it, it's like society has made women like this. These are angry women. And I'm thinking, no. For me, I do it out of love. And I'm telling the girls, do it because you will love your husband. Marry someone who is your friend and spoil him. So when David comes, as soon as he hoots at the gate, I tell the girls, okay, if they're watching TV, turn off the TV, put the remotes there. You will ask your dad what he wants to watch, greet him, and fuss. David is a king when he comes home. We fuss over him, and there's 4 of us, me and the 3 girls. Daddy, what do you want? David, what do you want? We give him because it's monkey see, monkey do. And I'm telling them, you're not doing this because you're a woman. You're doing it because you love your husband. I said, I love your dad, and I spoiled him so that I can have a stable home and you turn out well. That's my motivation. It's not a crime. And no one should criticize me for it and make me regret wanting to be a good wife, wanting for me to spoil my husband. You don't know where we've come from, 23 years. He has earned this place in my case. So anyway, so that is the other thing, and I want to end this on the point of adult children. There is a parable in the Bible that talks about 2 sons. You go and read it in Matthew 21, 28 to 32. Jesus tells of 2 sons. The first son, Jesus says the father told him, go and do this. And he said, I will not. I'm not going. He was belligerent. I won't do it. Then he went away. On the way, he changed his mind and went and did it. The second son told him, he said, yes, Daddy. Yes, sir. I'll do it. When do you want it done? Consider it done. And the Bible says he never went and did it. Then Jesus asked, which is a better son? The better son is the one who did what their father wanted, not the one who said the right things. So even as I'm bringing up my children, that's one of the things I tell them, girls, I'm not interested in respect alone. Respect is a nice to have and it's overrated. What I want is you to do what I've asked you to do. What I want you to be obedient. Even God, that's what God wants of us. So I believe that as parents, we are dealers in faith. We are dealers in, like me, I'm a currency dealer. I'm a financial markets person. I deal currency dealers, fixed income dealers. As parents, we are dealers in faith. That is what we don't give up on our children. But what we want at the end of the day is our children to do the right thing. They might not say the right thing now, but we want them to do the right thing. So I just want to say, as parents, let's pray for our children. Let's not give up on them. Some of them have gone off. Some of them have disappointed us. But we are dealers in faith. Why? Because God deals in faith. God would have given up on us a long time ago. We all know how we goofed up. We all know how we went astray, but he didn't give up on us and we turned out okay. So let us not give up our children. Let us be dealers in faith. Let us look for children like that son who, even though you want a child who does what is right at the end of the day. We don't want a child who sounds right. We don't want keeping up appearances. A child does, yes. So I tell my children that for me, within the kids, there are those who respect me, and then there are those who are not as respectful. But what I'm looking for is not just the respect. I'm looking for someone who will do the right thing at the end of the day. And as a dealer in faith, as a parent, co-parenting with God, I know that success is not final. Failure is not fatal. You've heard of that word. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. Even though the child says all those things, I want to go, but in the end, they do what is right. For me, that's enough. I'll feel that I would have done my part. And to get there, I have to be intentional. I have to take the time to show them by example. For one thing I learned in Gaza, I used to observe parents. Daddy, I can count on the fingers of one hand and I'd have many fingers left. How many times Daddy came to visit us in Gaza? But I saw families where people would come and visit their kids and I'd be like, wow, parents would come together. Many couples that would come. I can mention a few. The Senkatukas, both the Marita's parents and Sanyu's parents, the Antwatwas, the Nyakimwes, the Batwalas. Those are people who are in my year group. And today, my children go to school with some of those people I've mentioned. And guess what? Those people come with their spouses. This thing of monkey see, monkey do is very real. They saw their parents do it and they're doing it. You see, they are coming, the children of those parents, some of those parents I've mentioned. My kids go to the same school as theirs. They come, both spouses, because this is normal for them. So we have also to create in our homes examples for our children, that's examples that they will follow, things that they will copy. Monkey see, monkey do. You shout at your husband, your children are going to shout at their husbands. You shout at your wife, your sons are going to. It's just monkey see, monkey do. There is no rocket science. You are, whatever you're doing. Let me tell you, I have had maids. I got married. We're doing 23 years now with David. In the 20 years, I didn't get a maid until I had children. So we did a number of years when it was just David and I didn't have workers. In the 20 years that I have had workers, I have never once shouted at a worker. But I shout at my kids. I shout at them. I back at them when I'm upset. Because I see parents very easily will back at a worker, back at a maid, but never back at their children. You're bringing up the other person and allowing your child to slide down the tube. I'm tough on my children because I want a certain result. I want a certain result from them. And now that they're old, they see it. They're like, we used to think mommy was. But during the lockdown, there are children who didn't do well at school. And I had my daughters talking to each other saying, mommy was here breathing down our necks. But thank God, all my work is in order. I've done well. They decided naming this child and this child. The parents, I think, anyway, they have probably a different situation at home. Parents hadn't supervised their kids. So my kids were talking to each other that, and they were using a word which I don't agree with. They said, our mother was being harsh, but it worked out well. And I'm like, no, I'm not being harsh. I'm being loving. tough love, because it pays. The kids who come out, the kids who we are able to impart values, you can't do it softly. There is no coach who is soft on a team. All these high-performing teams, the coaches they rough them up. So anyway, I thought I would share that about the how I'm sorry, I would say maybe my philosophy around parenting, and giving myself, pacing myself, knowing that it's a little here, a little there. I recalibrate. There are some things where I think, okay, maybe that one I made a mistake. Then I change course, and probably that will come out in the Q&A. Time doesn't allow me to do that. But I will not make mommy's mistakes. My children will work. I will train my children. The Bible says, bring up a child in the way should go and not depart from it when they grow old. I will invest in my children the necessary time, so that when we hand over whatever we're going to hand over when we are gone, when we hand over the baton, they shall stand up and be counted. That my children will be mighty in the land, and they'll say, those Makoko girls are the real McCoy. They are the real deal. Those are wives, those are mothers, those are friends, those are whatever category they will, if you think about, my children have a spirit of excellence. Because of taking the time, I will restrain my children. When my children cannot misbehave and I allow it, I cannot. When I got my my child goes to a new class, I introduce myself to the teacher. When they were younger, the first thing I tell the teacher is, I spank my kids. I believe in spanking. Now the schools my kids go to these days don't spank. I say, I'm not asking you to. I know that you're, because they say, Madam, we are not allowed to spank. I said, I know, but I want you to know that these children, I spank. I'm tough. Now, what happens? My kids tell me that the teachers are tougher on them than other kids. Why? Because they know that their mom is the no nonsense.
Grace, are you still there? Have we lost you? Grace, we don't seem to hear you. You've frozen, I think. I hope you can hear us.
Same here.
People, please be patient with us as we recover Grace. Elon, do you know what has happened?
Sorry, I got kicked out. Okay, sorry, I got kicked out. Yeah, I was saying that I've discovered that teachers are now on kids. I have been blessed. The teachers tell me, from when my daughter, my oldest, was in P6, the teachers will come in and say, wrong.
Hello. Good morning to you, moms. Can you hear me? Morning, Harriet. Can you hear me?
Yes, dear, morning. I can hear you loud and clear.
Morning. You look good.
Thank you. Thank you.
You look good.
Thank you. Mm.
Yes. Nice to have you. I see also Nita is on. Morning, Nita. Morning, Nita. Hello. Harriet, how has been your morning?
It's okay, my dear, and yours? I want to appreciate the speaker who has just spoken to us. She's a carbon copy of myself. I've really learned a lot, and I agree with most of the things she has taught us this morning. May the Lord bless her.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Harriet, we seem to have lost you.
No, I am here. I'm on. I am on.
Yes, you are saying something about the speaker.
Yes, I want to
You are
appreciate
saying
her.
something about.
Yes, I want to appreciate her, and I have learned a lot from her, and most of the things she mentioned, I really agree with her, and I apply some of those things here at home.
Mm.
Yes, and I thank her, and may the Lord bless her. Thank her for the presentation.
Yes, I think I've been listening in also, but of course I was in the seminar, but it was what she was saying. It's as if I was hearing it for the first time. So it's very important that as parents, we keep ourselves informed and always listening to something someone is sharing.
That's true.
Yes, we don't have many people yet online. I wish if we could make like 10 people, we could start the seminar. So I'm suggesting I'll put on Makoko to keep on speaking and see, even if we get to 6, we will start the seminar.
Okay.
What do you think, Harriet? Yes. So we shall leave the speaker on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just 10 more minutes, and as we wait for people to tune in the morning. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. Marco, what has been?
But I would tell them that, guys, that goes into your 2 hours. Then they would say, no, mommy, this is with daddy, what? Anyway, so we negotiated something there. But that came, the matching movies came much later, came in the last 10 years. So TV for me, I'm unapologetic. I will never apologize for that. TV is a time waster. There is nothing they are getting from TV. You can't say cartoons are going to teach them. It's nothing. My oldest got a phone when she turned 19. And I was like, okay, now and she had a job. I said, no, now buy yourself airtime. The second one, but the dad said, no, she needs a smartphone. They had a katochi. The second one got a smartphone when she went to S5. And that one, I was overpowered by the dad. But we are couples, we balance each other. So smartphones, saying everyone in my class had a smartphone, that's okay, I'm not their parent. If you have decided to allow your children smartphones, take them on social media the way they do, let us meet in 15 years' time and exchange notes. Actually, that's what I used to tell people in my place of work who'd say, Grace, you're too strict. I said, let us have a meeting in 15 years' time and exchange notes on our children. The jury is still out on them. Mama Tendo, I think I'm going to stop there and allow Q&A for the bits that I haven't touched. Thank you.
Wow. Oh, wow. Thank you very, very much, Mrs. Mako, for sharing from your heart about raising children. Thank you. I'm sure we are going to have a very interesting discussion, because I'm sure you've said very many things that probably many parents here don't agree with. But also, there are very many that have listened and are learning, because there are many that have listened and are learning because they have little children and are still deciding how they should raise their children. Some of what I had Grace say, I'm going to quickly run through and then ask us to open up for Q&A. Grace said, try not to diet, especially if you're in the childbearing years, you're still having children. Definitely don't diet when you're expecting. And also try not to do vigorous exercises when you're expecting. I think there are some that are recommended, but not all. And there's no excuse for making mistakes that our parents made. As mothers and fathers on the call, we know those excuses that our parents made. There's no excuse for making mistakes. There's no excuse for making those mistakes that our parents made. Make your children work, invest in them. Don't invest in other people's children or other relatives, and leave yours on the wayside. Because again, the jury is still out there to decide how they'll turn out. Create a work ethic in your children. She gave us the example of Jacob, who went away with all of Laban's wealth, and lawfully, he didn't steal it. Teach our children to make a home, whether they are going to be wives or husbands or not. Everybody lives in a home. We should teach them to make a home. Precept upon precept. They're not going to learn everything in one day, but also you're going to be deciding, picking and choosing from here and there what is good for your children as you raise them. Train your children for all seasons. I think I heard that a lot out of Grace, even if she didn't say it like that. Your children should be children for all seasons. Okay, they should not be children that are only used to one thing. When power is off, they can't cope, things like that. Train your children for all seasons. We've said that. Monkey see, monkey do. She said that many times. Respect is good, but obedience is better. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. Be intentional about raising your children. We are co-parenters with God. God chose you as the best parent for that child or for those children that you're raising, that came through you. What will your children copy? There is no coach who is soft on his or her team. If they want them to succeed, they cannot be soft on them. Enjoy the phase, whichever phase you're in. Is it pre-pregnancy? Is it pregnancy? Is it childbirth? Is it raising a toddler? Is it a teenager? I'm sure some people will share with us about teenagers. Enjoy whichever phase you're in, because for everything under the sun, there's a season. Teach your children to read, not to waste time. Someone wrote there and added to what Grace said, TV is a time waster and a brain dimmer. Somebody said that. Decide how you want to raise your children. What values are you imparting? When Grace talked, she didn't directly talk about values, but I could pick up a lot of the values that she has intended, been very intentional about in her children. Work is a value. Valuing work is a value, for example. So I'm sure you have also picked up very many things. That's just a few of what I picked up. And I would like now to open up for Q&A. Please feel free to put up your virtual hand to ask a question or to post your question.
Christine.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Yes. Before you go on to open up, I just wanted to invite Grace again to speak something, because she has been a busy career woman who has worked in the East African region. She's been holding very big posts, and we would like to know how she has been able to balance work and raising up her children the way she's saying. I would like her to share the situation she went through when she was she was working in Nairobi, and then she saw one of her daughters putting on torn socks for school. It was a big turning point in her life, that there are things that she was neglecting because of being busy. She has shared that before, but I just want her to share it with the parents here so that they can be able to pick some lessons and to know that we have to be diligent to keep the consistency of watching, that we don't get out of step.
Okay, thank you, Grace.
Thanks, Tendo. Okay, so let me start with the Uganda piece, then I'll go what happened in Nairobi. So one of the things that I had to balance while I was building my career is I decided from I had seen there's too many marriages of C-suite ladies who are in the C-suite, ladies who are in the boardroom, ladies who are on EXCO, ladies who are managers, ladies who are business owners. The casualty rate of their marriages is alarming, and their children and husbands end up paying the price for this success. Their families pay the price for this success. So from earlier on in my career, one thing I decided that I'm climbing up the corporate ladder with David and the girls. I'm not leaving them behind. Now, that has its own implications because it meant that I moved slower than I would have. For the longest, my husband said he wasn't mobile, so I couldn't take an expatriate job. He said he wasn't mobile. He didn't say, don't go. He would say, you can go with the kids. And I'll be like, in my head, I'll be like, this is how a dangerous substitute comes. Exactly like this. My mother-in-law went to the UK to learn. In the time when the colonial government, they used to take all the royal families. They would take them to study out. You notice all these royal families, the people, they speak Queen's English, but so it was part of the colonial agenda. They took the kids of the chiefs and princes, and kings. So my mother-in-law was a chief's daughter. She went for 2 years. The movie didn't end well, but anyway, the husband got a dangerous substitute. So my husband himself is a casualty of a dangerous substitute. My own mother came into the home because my dad's wife at the time, my dad had moved into Kampala. He had come to Uganda, as they say, to work, the colonial government, and the wife he had in the village said, he told her, you need to come to Kampala with me, but I'll take you for adult literacy classes so you learn English and you can entertain with me or come with functions. And she said, hey, I wish I could say it in Toro, but time doesn't allow. But she started saying, oh, now that you have gone to Uganda, now that you have studied, you're too good for me. You want me to first learn English? I'm not coming. Long story short, my dad got my mom. So my mom, I'm a product of a dangerous substitute. My husband is a casualty of a dangerous substitute. I was not going to confuse myself. So some of you don't have that familiar spirit. For me, it was there. So I was not going to play with fire. I was taking them along with me, whatever it would take. So I had to balance career growth. I had to balance keeping my home. And that was very, very tough. How do I make sure that Standard Chartered don't feel they're competing with David and David doesn't feel he's competing with Standard Chartered? Part of my parenting journey, the successes we've seen is because we've done it together as a couple. There is an office that a father holds that you as a mother will never ever be able to wing it. I can spend the whole, as tough as I am, it can take me 2 hours to get the girls to do something. David comes and just clears his throat and they do. I can't explain it. I've failed because he doesn't spank, he doesn't shout, he doesn't harass, but he gets them to get the job done. So I need David. I could ill afford to bring up my children alone. And my dad had been a larger than life figure in my own life. So David is part and parcel of my parenting journey. I was not leaving him behind for the sake of my children and for the sake of my sanity. So because I hadn't had a maid when I started working, before I started having children, I used to cook for my husband. I enjoy cooking. I like cooking with my husband. I spoil my husband. I wash his clothes. I would wash his clothes. I would clean the house. I didn't want to come back home and find my husband doing housework. That was not for him. Maybe for those other women who feel we are both working, we are both tired, not for me. That is not how I was brought up. That's not how mommy treated daddy. Remember, monkey see, monkey do. Daddy was a king in our home. So everything I did. So when I got a maid, the first thing where David rioted was on the food. He didn't want to eat the maid's food. Sometimes I would cheat and home. I had a home phone. Can you cook? David would come home, eat one spoon like this, and say, it's not you who cooked. And go to the fridge and eat bread, drink tea. That thing would hurt me. I'd be like, he has bought food. We have the gas, we have the paraffin. And it's not because I haven't cooked. It would really disturb me. Some people say, if he doesn't eat, that's up to him. For me, it's a big deal if my husband is not happy. It's a big deal. Monkey see, monkey do. And hopefully my children are seeing and they will do. So anyway, how did I have to? I had to balance that. Come home after being a EXCO member, Madam EXCO member. I take off my EXCO hat, I put on my mother hat and my husband, my wife hat. One of the things I did at some stage was to get an educated nanny. These nannies from Chanamkaka who can't read are not very good. So I got a nanny who was educated.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Those who are on YouTube. Good morning to you, Harriet. We are going to start our meeting. Hello. We are going to start our meeting. Morning to you, mothers. Good morning, everyone. I just want to thank. Yes. I just want to thank everyone who has been able to tune in this morning. I hear a lot of noise in the background. I want to thank every mother who has been able to tune in. Because it's been quite hectic, and I sort of know what you're going through. Some of you have small children. Some of you have small children. Some of you are expecting, and it's quite very demanding. But I want to thank everyone who has been able to tune in to be part of this meeting. If we don't keep educating ourselves and learning, we shall be left behind, and we shall also make lots of mistakes. So it's very critical that we learn what we need to do as parents. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm going to start straight away with our topic today. Harriet, are you here with me? Hi. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to start our topic today. And as I had already listed it, it is 10 things mistakes that new and first-time mothers make. And that is what I'm going to start talking about straight away. And I have Harriet with me. She is my co-host, and she will also be tuning in to share something. She will also be tuning in to share something because she has walked that journey, she has had challenges, and she'll be able to share with us her story in a way that is encouraging to mothers. Yeah. So our topic today is 10 mistakes that new and first-time mothers make. That is our topic today. And that is what we are going to start talking about. Harriet, before I start this topic, do you have 1 or 2 things to say? Yes.
They can hear me?
Yes.
Good morning.
We can hear you, Harriet.
Oh, okay. Good morning, everybody. I believe they are mothers.
We can hear you.
Yes. As Mama Tendo has said, my name is Harriet. I am a mother.
I can hear you very well.
Okay.
But we have lost you.
Is it? You can hear me now? You can hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Yes, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello. Hello, can you hear me, members?
Harriet, we went off. We were hearing you speaking, but we
Really?
couldn't connect. Yeah.
So
we
you-
were hearing
so-
you speaking, but we had gone off.
Oh, so you can hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
I pray those on YouTube are following,
Yes.
and I request to submit now because I'm on my way. I'm actually in town. You can see a petrol station behind me. Yes.
Yes.
So I welcome mothers, especially those first-time mothers, the new mothers. I am Harriet, a wife and a parent. I have 3 children. The firstborn is 13 and a half. I am a professional Christian counselor. Yes. So I can go on, Mama Tendo, you can hear me?
Yes, please. I can hear you very well.
Okay. I want
No,
to
your
talk
camera
to...
is off. You've stepped
the
off your
camera.
camera.
I have intended it. I will put it on later on. I want to talk to first-time mothers, the mistakes that we make, and I want them to learn from us. I've noted just a few things. One is failure to adjust in life. Someone is a new mother, they still want to live their old lives. They want to go to Angenois. They want to bury everyone who has died every weekend. They want to party all the time. The girls, they're out. When you become a mother, you have to adjust and you set your priorities right. Some of the things you have to forego them in a good way. If you have been going to night clubs, night prayers, you have to adjust. Recently, there is a friend of ours. Some of you, if you happen to be in town, you know the person. They did not set their priorities right. Bakwata omwana ne bamugalira mu motoka outside the church, and they went in for night prayer, closing all the windows. An 8-month-old baby. To reach in the car, the child had died. So when you are a new mother, you have to set your priorities right. Some funerals you'll have to forego. Some parties, your children will have to come first, and your husband. Yes, I don't want to take it for granted that everyone who becomes a mother is living with a spouse. Whether the spouse is abroad, whether you are married or not, when you become a mother, a lot has to change about you. Then another thing, when you become a mother, your responsibility increases. Responsibility in terms of time, resources, you have to increase on your earnings. Now, because at that point, you are living for others. You are living for you, but now you are living for others. All those around you, that means those are children and neighbors. No, not neighbors, children, husband, and the maids. Now there you feel that you need more resources, not like the way you were before you had children. The choices you make in life when you become a mother do not only affect you, but also affect your children. So we have to make right choices once we are mothers. What are those choices? Choices you will choices you will find that maybe all of a sudden you have realized that the partner you have had a child with, you do not want to go on with them. Or maybe they tell you, you know what, you made a mistake, your ex still needs you. So there, the choices you make, you must have to consider the children and you. Things really change once you have children, once you become a parent. So careful on the choices. Then another thing is you have to be able to handle disputes. Once you become a mother, the family will grow. Be ready to handle disputes. Be ready to know how to deal with others, including maids. Others, we want to trash maids. We want to treat them less human. Yet those people keep our treasures in life. You had a child who one time asked the mother, "Mommy, each time you go, you lock your bedroom. What valuable things do you have there in the bedroom that are better than my life? For me, you surrender me to the maid. But you say that you lock your bedroom, you need it safe, all your valuables are in that bedroom. You don't want the maid to access the valuables. Is there anything valuable more than me, mommy?" So let us set our priorities right. I beg to submit, Mama Tendo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Harriet. And what you have really shared is very touching and valuable and very true. And I pray that the young mothers who are online shall take this message very seriously. And we'll write down these things and develop a book where they can read and revise, and revise some of the things that have been taught. And I'm going to proceed and share what I had prepared, but I thank Harriet so much because some of the points that we are going to discuss, Harriet has already touched on them. So it's going to be so easy for me to try and elaborate some of these points. So thank you very much, Harriet, for sharing and for tuning in. And I know you on a journey, but you spared some time to talk to the mothers. I'm going to start my talk right now about 10 mistakes that new and first-time mothers make. And we are here to learn from each other. We are here to share with one another. And we are here to encourage one another. So I want to start my first point. Just a minute. Someone is trying to tell me something. So the first point is what Harriet has pointed out, we first have to embrace the season in which we are. Someone said that life runs in seasons. And I think we are able to see this even in the natural world. There is the, for those who stay in the tropics, there is the harvest time, there is the dry season. Life seems to run in seasons. And even if we don't live in Europe or America, we know that there are winters, there are summers, there are different seasons. There is spring, and in all those seasons, we see different things. We see that in those seasons, the flowers present differently. We see the plants present differently, and the world looks differently. So each season, particular season, has its function, has its beauty, but also each season puts different demands on nature. It puts different demands on the world around us. That is what it's like with motherhood. Motherhood is also a season. A season where so many things change, a season where we transit from being children, if I may say in the real sense, to now mothering children. And because of that, there are many changes that take place. Some of these changes are physical. Now we're moving from staying alone and we're moving to staying with someone else because still of the motherhood season. And this season is very, very important. So one of the mistakes that some mothers make is to fail to realize that life has changed now. You are in a different season, and this season calls you to act differently. What does it demand of you, the season of motherhood? The season of motherhood demands that you don't live only for yourself, but also the lives of other people entirely depend on your own life. When you are carrying a baby in your womb, that baby is entirely depending on you. What you feed the child, the baby, is what you feed on is what the baby will feed on. What you drink is what the baby will drink. The baby is eating from your very bones. So the child's entire life is dependent on you. And when you realize that, mothers, you start thinking differently. You start acting more responsibly. You start making certain sacrifices. So it's very, very important for us to realize, to embrace the season of motherhood, because so many things are changing, so many things are transiting, so many things, new things are coming in. It's very, very important that we realize the time we are facing. It is to embrace that change in season. And one of the mistakes is that some mothers fail to see that change. So we have to change our thinking. We have to change the way we are spending time. We have to make sacrifices. Recently, a friend of mine, she said, I had never been down. She likes a lot of comfort. She likes being comfortable. And, she doesn't want moving around in squeezed places and all. But now she's expecting, and she didn't have the big budget to buy things in expensive shops. So she had to make the sacrifice to go, pregnant as she is, 8 months, and walk downtown walk downtown, being shoveled around, being pushed around. But she had to go downtown and make shopping for her baby, for her new baby. You know, she has to make that sacrifice. If she could only think about her own comfort zone, about moving comfortably, she will not make it. So that is what motherhood is. There is sacrifice. You must embrace the season of sacrifice, the season of motherhood. You may need to wake up not at 6 as you have been waking up. Sometimes mothers wake up at 4, you know, because the season demands that the wake up time for you to make it is 4. You have work to do, you have to organize your home. So if you do not embrace the season you are in as a mother, you are just going to lose out. You are going to lose out. Life will move on and leave you behind. But more so, you will fail to enjoy that season. So as someone said, if you are a mother and every weekend you want to walk around Kampala to see the new buildings that have come up, to walk in every shopping mall, and you are going to neglect something and you are going to lose out. The second mistake that mothers make is to think that they can make it on their own. Life is a synergy. Life is a synergy. Many people, you know, life is a synergy, and also life is an ecosystem. So many things connect up, you know, so many things connect up to make it possible for the world to move on peacefully. There is if I may say, things are interconnected, you know, for things to move on smoothly. One of the things that you have to, one of the mistakes that some mothers make is to think that they can be able to make it on their own. After all, it is my baby, it is my home, it is my this. So we think that we can be able to make it without any assistance from someone else. And that is a big mistake. You cannot be able to make it on your own. We have an African proverb that says, it takes a village to raise a child. Can I ask everyone else to take off their camera? If you're on Zoom, please take off your camera. Brian, please take off your camera. Brian and Simon, can you please take off your cameras? It takes a village to raise a child. Thinking that you can be able to make it on your own as a mother is deceiving yourself. You need other people in order to make it. That is why, if you have not been greeting your neighbors before you became a mother, once you become a mother, start greeting your neighbors. You know, if your home is near a border stage where you get out of the gate and next to you is a border, don't just pass them without greeting them. Why? You need them on this journey. So many people help us on our journey, you know. While you are busy in a board meeting, while you are busy at work, meeting some targets, it's the border person outside your gate who will see your baby straying out, or who will see that the maid has left the child in and gone on to meet her own boyfriends, okay? And your baby has been left behind. Sometimes it is these people who will call us, you know. The maid will not have airtime or her phone will be dead. And I can tell you, if you've not been greeting these people, if you've not been seeing them as not being around, they will not come in to help you in any way, you know. They will not call you. They'll somchalo yewulira nnyo talina gwabuuza, you know, and they'll just not help when they should be helping. So one of the things that we must know is that when we become mothers, we start thinking, we have to know that there are other people we need on our journey. We are not able to raise our children all by ourselves. Your neighbor will be helpful, your friend will be helpful. So please do not neglect them. Harriet, I would like to ask you if there is anything you have to say about this point, if you are online, or anyone else who is on Zoom. Do you have something to share about this? About the issues that I have shared?
I'm in a lot of noise, I'm in a lot of noise. I don't know if you will hear me.
Yes, we shall hear you a little.
You can hear me, eh?
Yes.
Yes, on the things of neighbors. When you have children, you have to be in good terms with the neighbors. Mama Tendo, allow me to thank you for your submission, because you have brought out all the points elaborately, and they are really clear. We need to be in good terms with the neighbors. One time a maid escaped, leaving a child of 6 months in the house alone and attended to. But because the mother was friendly to the neighbors, they rescued the child and called the lady. She found the child was safe and sound. You mothers, we want you to learn from us, and you be good people with to be in good touch with those people around you. Also to learn on mothers, about other mothers, that those who have had children before. Let the new mothers open ears. Let them ask. Recently, a child had jaundice. I'm talking in terms of the new mother, Nakawere. A child had jaundice. She did not know, but she was just there until we saw that the child was becoming yellowish. We told her what to do. She was just proud. She could not ask about anything. Let them learn from those elders. Even if it is marital discord, you learn from those who have had solid marriage. We all learn from one another. For example, there are things I've just learned from the first speaker. Those things, they are common. We see them every day. We live with children. We are parents. But I've just learned a lot from her. Yet we hear those things every day. So let them learn. Be it a marital discord, be it about children, be it about giving birth. We are talking about new mothers. There are those who are expecting, who have not given birth yet. You also new mothers. Please feel free to ask from people that you trust. I'm not saying that you ask from everyone, no. Get someone you see that is really respectable and learn from them. Allow me submit, Mama Tendo.
Thank you so much, Harriet. This is very, very important what you have shared and the example you have given. Sometimes we bring dangers to our own children because we are so proud and arrogant as mothers. But when you become a mother, you have to change your attitude. You know, you have to change your attitude. You should be able to hear and listen to other people. You know, not everyone, but excuse me. You should be able to get advice and counsel from other people. The third mistake that new mothers make is they fail. If you put on your audio, if someone else is put on your audio, please remove it. The third point is failure to get some time to sleep or to rest. Sometimes mothers, when they've just had a baby, they think that if someone else attends to their child in any way, their child will suffer a big problem or will be injured or will be hurt. And so they are working, they left labor, which labor itself is a traumatizing process, physically to the body, but also psychologically to the mind. The mind has been traumatized by so much pain. And then you are not putting this body, which is your machine, you are not giving it enough rest. You are up and down. You alone want to bathe the baby. You alone want to vaseline the baby. You alone, you think that if any other person touches your baby's tongue, then your baby is in danger. And so you just get worn out 24 hours a day. My dear, even machines need to be oiled up in order to function smoothly. So as a new mother, make sure you have some time to rest. And again, this has something to do with your birth plan. You know, as they encourage us, what is your birth plan? Well, in your birth plan, you should include who is going to be with you in those few days, in those first weeks after you have had the baby. A birth plan is very important. As much as possible, try to have someone who is going to be there for you, you know? Someone, a relative, even if they cannot come a month, if they can be there a week, if they can take days off. We thank God for our mothers. We thank God for our mothers-in-law, who many times maybe they have retired or they have some more time on them. Don't refuse their help. Don't refuse their help. You need it. You need to sleep some hours and someone will hold your crying baby. Your body needs rest. If you don't give your body rest after childbirth, you are bending, washing bed sheets, you are busy doing everything. Some of those factors are what lead to mental health challenges. You know? Physically, your skin becomes pale, you become so tired, you become so haggard. You are in your 20s, but you look 10 years older than what you are. So rest is very important. It's a mistake that we make. And again, sometimes to get people to be there for you, you have to create relationships, you know, relationships. Because looking after Nakawele, that means someone wakes up early, makes your tea, cooks your katogo, whatsoever, arranges for you everything, you know. So make sure you make good friends in the family who can be able to be there for you. Because even if you have a maid, sometimes you are so tired even to give instructions. You know, giving instructions and supervision is also a lot of work. So it's important that you get some time to rest. Yesterday, a mother was complaining that the baby is crying all the time. She has no time at all to sleep or to put down her head. She was really, really Bambi, complaining a lot, and she didn't know what to do. And if you have such mothers in your own family, you are sisters-in-law here. You are sisters-in-law, you have your brothers' wives, you have your sisters. Please stand there for them. It may not be like for the whole week, but even if you say Saturday, I am coming, I'll be there with the baby, don't worry. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday, I'll also come, I'll carry the baby, I'll help you feed the baby so that you can have some time to rest. So let us be there for people because they need us. And the fourth mistake, I think that's the fourth, that new mothers make is fighting many battles. Please, my dear mothers, when we become mothers, we learn to forgive anew, you know, we learn to forgive, and we choose which battles to fight because we want to preserve our energy to the new responsibility that God has given to us. You know, God has assigned a new duty to us, and that new duty is raising another human being who was created in his image, who is so valuable. And we have to make sure that the best of our energy, the best of our mind, the best of our strength, the best of our creativity is given to this job that God has given to us by giving us a child. So if you are going to fight battles, some people, you find that Nakawere is so bitter. Why is she bitter? Because so-and-so is close to me, but did not come to see me in hospital. So-and-so has not yet come to see my child, or they are calling my child ugly. They are calling so many things. So you are full of so much unhappiness, you know. And some of us, maybe even the person, the father of the child did not help in paying the bill, or did not even call to say, how is the baby? So all these things pile up, and you find yourself having a bitter heart. But this bitter heart is diverting you from the bigger responsibility and from the bigger blessing of raising a child. So please cut short your battles. You know, if you are full of bitterness and you are full of battles, you are not going to do your responsibility well. So it's very important to us that we kind of sanctify ourselves. You know, see the big thing that God has helped you. You went to hospital pregnant. You've come back with this human being. They are there. They are, you know, they are happy. In the way, there is a way that God makes our children, you know, comfort us, you know. Maybe the baby is not even fasting. The baby is very peaceful, as if she knows that mommy maybe has problems. So even if our children may not be speaking, but there is a way they can communicate to us. So if you are a first-time or new mother, look at your life and see where you have picked unnecessary battles, where you are carrying unnecessary bitterness, and work on dealing with it so that you can be able to mother your child peacefully. So, number 5, sometimes we think that only women, you know, the mistake we make is that we don't think that fathers also feel, have feelings for the newborn. We feel like because it's us who have gone through pregnancy, it's us who have gone for antenatal classes, it's us who have pushed the child or gone through Caesar. So many times we may think that, you know, fathers are not part of this. You know, I have seen with myself situations where a mother could not allow even the father to hold the baby. You know, every time the father could stretch out and hold the baby, or the baby would be crying and the father is trying to, you know, calm the child down, the mother will jump from where she is and pull the baby. You give me my baby, give me my baby, give me my child, give me my child, you know? And later on, I had gone to see this couple. They had just had the baby. The father said, for me, I told her, that is your child, that is your baby. You know, there is nothing I can do about, because everything that I try to do, one, if I try to hold the baby and I'm trying to hug the baby, you are telling me that I am squeezing the baby so hard. If I try to hold the baby anyway, you are going to break my baby's leg. Why are you so unkind? Why are you so unfair? Why are you so rude? You know? So we fail to recognize that even if fathers don't go through pregnancy and they may not go through childbirth and labor, we fail to recognize that they are part of this process. You know, they can be able to hold the baby. They may not hold the baby well, but who of us started probably, who of us started walking by running, if I may say. We all started with that one step and falling down. So that's what it is. A father may not know how to hold the baby. They may not know how to bathe the baby. But what matters, are they willing? You know, are they want to be part of? You know, we complain sometimes that men leave us with the work. But even when they come to do the work, because they are not doing it well, we put the comments we give, just push them off. So sometimes new mothers make this mistake. They are not allowing the fathers to come in as they are, to come in with the limitation of knowledge or practice that they have, and learn along the way, you know. So allow the father to come in. Allow him to make some mistakes. Sometimes he may press the baby's leg by, you know, not intentionally, but as long as he's willing, as long as he feels I am part of this, make him feel part of this. Of course, this is a very different from those who may not actually want to know, who completely shut out, think that there is no baby in the home or something. But even those ones, slowly by slowly, we can get them interested in looking after the baby. So don't start fights with your husband, with your boyfriend, or you know, over the new baby, because there are already tense situations. You as a couple have been spending so much. You have gone through the emotional stress of the pregnancy. So you have to gently handle yourselves, even as you adjust to the new baby. Then the fifth, I think the sixth mistake, or I don't know whether it's the fifth, but the sixth mistake is not being financially prepared. That with the motherhood, the budget has grown, you know. Motherhood means the budget has grown. There is so much demand on you. Money is needed for everything. There are times when you run to the hospital 3 times in a week. That means fuel. That means consultation fee. That means so many things, you know. But as mothers, how can we financially, you know, set ourselves up, you know, for motherhood? How can we do it, you know? A mother yesterday sent me a message. She's 7 months pregnant, but she does not have anything at all, you know? She doesn't have anything set up for the baby at all. So mothers, financial issues are real issues. Not preparing ourselves financially is a big mistake. And we should not think of other people helping us as the only thing we are banking on, you know. So if you are a couple, you have to prepare. From the first day you realize you are pregnant, start saving away. Even if it is 10,000 shillings a week or 5,000 or whatsoever, please put away some money for the coming bills of the hospital, for any emergencies that may take place. You have to be prepared for the time of childbirth and the time after, you know. And we thank God for the husbands, for the fathers who are able to take responsibility, and they should take responsibility. But I can assure you from my experience, even where you have a husband or a father of the baby who is taking, paying all the bills, there must be some money you save as a mother for the rainy day, you know. You have to keep that money away for the rainy day. So make sure always especially if you have young children, make sure there is some money which you do not touch, and unless the home is starving. You need that money, because even when people come to help you, they must find you with something that you have. So not saving any money, not trying to see how to expand how you can financially get prepared for certain situation is a mistake. Okay, sometimes, for example, someone said that if you are planning to have a baby, you plan for the worst scenario. The worst scenario being a cesarean birth in this matter. If you give birth naturally, you are going to pay this. If you give birth by cesarean section, the hospital bill may triple. So make sure you have prepared for the triple bill, for the triple bill. And in that way, you will not be embarrassed, At least if you think you are not prepared for the triple bill, make sure you have some people, reliable people, whom you say that if I call so and so and they have the money, they will give it to me. Have your friends, your social capital ready to help you when you need help. So I don't know whether it is the mix the points up, but the next point is living beyond our means, a mistake we make as new mothers. As a new mother, you want every nice thing for your child. You want this and this and this. And for sure, people who innovate for children are always coming up with something, They are always creating something new. They are always creating something very beautiful, a baby carrier, a baby trolley, a baby what, so many very beautiful and nice stuff that every mother wants their baby to have, You see the small shoes, you want them. You see the best outfit, you want it. You want your baby, the best baby bag, and it's natural. But what we must do as mothers, we must see that we must know that the journey is a long one. And this is only the beginning. So you have to tame your desires for your baby and be realistic and reconcile those desires with your actual pocket. How does your pocket stand? How does your pocket stand? Can you afford this? If you cannot afford it, when can you want every expensive toy? So let us be realistic. Finances, when you become a mother, finances take on a completely different turn. So we can have the things we want for our babies. We must learn how to budget them. If we can't afford certain things at specific time, it's okay. By the way, those small things, those bundles that God has given to us are resilient. They are resilient, and most times it's us who mind so much. The babies don't mind what clothes they put on. Okay? So let us tame our desires to have the best of this and the best of that, because it is very unrealistic and we may end up carrying a lot of debt. So make sure you control your budget. Make sure you control your desires. Make sure you are realistic, and most of all, make sure you work hard. My dear, if you really want the kind of things you want for your child, this is the beginning of the journey, but more demands come every day. Then the next point after the mistake of living beyond our means is the next mistake that mothers make is neglecting your health. Neglecting your health. Mothers, we want to live long. We want to live long by the grace of God, to see our children, our children's children, right? And one of the things that we need to do is to make sure that we live a healthy life. Remember that 8 weeks after you've had the baby, you return to hospital. But many mothers don't want to return to hospital because, one, we are so busy with the baby. Secondly, we don't have any pain. So the bleeding has stopped. So we say, why should I return to the hospital? Why do I need to return to the hospital? You know? But remember, we have to be proactive women as far as our health is concerned. So make sure at 8 weeks you return for checkup. What do they do? To check and see if the uterus has gone back to its right place. The uterus has to go back to its right place. Then secondly, we have to do our cervical, our pap smear test. We have to do our pap smear test. Remember that cervical cancer is the second leading killer cancer among women in Uganda. Actually, it's not the second. It's the leading female cancer. You know, the first leading female cancer is cervical cancer. So when we go back at 8 weeks, they do that test. And most of these tests, they do them free. I have 2 friends of mine who on their visit back to the doctor after 8 weeks, they discovered they had the cells were developing cervical cancer. This was discovered. These were women in their late 20s and early 30s. So they were young women then, you know, but they found these cells, and thank God they found them at that time. They underwent treatment, and now they are fine. They never got any adverse effects and have been able to have other children. So make sure you don't neglect, don't make that mistake, mother, to neglect your health. And then also family planning, you know, because we want to space the children. We are working mothers. So it's very important also that when you go at the 8 weeks visit, or even before, you are able to work on the issues of family planning and know when you are going to conceive the baby. Yeah, Harriet, I just wanted to know if there is anything you wanted to say about the issues that I have raised so far.
Thank you so much, Mama Tendo. I want to speak something about hygiene. When we become mothers, first-time mothers, we intend to say, I am a mother, natuse gendaga. We no longer take care of ourselves in terms of cleanliness. We no longer take care of our bedrooms. Susu is smelling everywhere. The children will wee everywhere, even the chairs, the sitting room. The only excuse you give, not I'm a mother, I gave birth. Yes, you can be a mother and still remain clean. You can be a mother and still remain organized. Susu does not need to smell anywhere. There are Pampers. There are these Viveras if you cannot afford Pampers. Let us remain clean. Let us work on our hair. Don't you see I'm expecting? I cannot work on myself. Even
I can't go to the salon in no way. You must remain attractive even when you are a mother or even when you are still expecting. Then another thing is what we pack in the hospital. This one I have to tell you as a testimony from me. I don't know if it's a testimony or experience. When I was having my first child, for me, the whole world was about my child, that first child. We all know what it means having a firstborn. I went for shopping. I shopped unnecessary items, very unnecessary. In that, in my case, I even had things of a child who was around 3 or 4 years. I shopped everything. I took everything to the hospital on the day of delivery. So in other words, I packed 2 suitcases, 2. But all the child needed was receiver and some of suka, just a few things. So I learned a hard way. I do not want to fellow other first-time mothers to go through to make the mistakes that I made. Please, you do not need a lot of luggage. You need a few things. Just only one small case can be enough for you and the child. Then another thing, I love the child. Love is not bad. Let us love our children. But I loved my child so much in that I did not recognize the father. This one I have to tell you because let us not make a mistake. Me, I'm born again, I'm going to tell you the truth. My whole world was rotating on my child. I so much loved the child. Everything was on the child. I did not think beyond about her. One time the father woke up and asked me in the night, "You love this child more than me. Who came first?" I don't want to lie to you, the relationship ended in tears because I put all the attention on the baby, everything in the baby, I neglected this other side. Let us balance these things. If it is parenting, let us parent. At the same time, we know that there is another parent who helped us bring this child on earth. Let us balance. They also need care. Actually, they are our firstborns. Our husbands are our firstborns. So let us take care of the firstborn and also this new entrant. Yes, I think that is it.
Thank you so much, Harriet, because we need honest mothers. We need honest mothers to share. We don't only need honest mothers, but actually we need mothers who love other mothers. Thank you so much, Harriet, for being honest and sharing about this situation. Because this is what I shared here. I have seen this place where the father would just be shoveled out of the way because baby has arrived. And that mentality of thinking that we are the only ones who love the baby so much, from the very beginning, it sows wrong seeds between a father and their child and between the new parents. So it can start from there and grow into the rest of the rest of the life of that child. So it's very important, mothers, that we don't devote everything, you know. We get the fathers, they are part of this child also. Some of us don't want to say that, some of us don't want to mention that, and that brings problems in the marriage. Other people also, what they do, they bring their relatives, you know, and their friends, and they are really in their own world with their baby. And the father is nowhere else, you know. So try to make sure that by nature you attend more to that baby, you know, but make sure that you try as much as possible to involve the father, even those where he can, you know, because again, you are not going to force him, but at least you give him the opportunity to do so. Yes. So thank you very much, Harriet, for those insights. I'm about to finish. The presentation. I'm about to finish the presentation. So I think I was on the 8th point. Then the other point that the mistakes also we make. It's kind of part of what we have been discussing. How do we get extended family members? You know, the mistakes we make is neglecting that. For example, sometimes the extended family members on the husband's side. You know, here this one includes maybe the man's sisters, but mainly most times is the mother-in-law. You know, we want to really shut them out. You know, probably some of us are calling them witches. They don't know God. We are very Christians. We don't know God. But much as I wouldn't say that we put our children at risk of anything, you know, of any form of spiritual abuse, I wouldn't say that we should put our children at the risk of spiritual abuse, but we should watch out for these things. That person you are calling a witch, that person you are calling a wizard, she's the one who raised your dear husband or the dear father of your child. So it's very, very important that we know that these demands are going to come when you give birth. People from the man's side are going to come. Some of them will give orders. Some of them will want this, but don't get upset very fast. You can choose to be a wise woman in all these matters. When they give you orders, don't start fights there. You know, you can accept, you know, you can politely, don't show any resistance, but if you don't believe in something, you don't have to do it. But if you are engaging in arguments and now you are bringing conflict between you and your husband who sees things differently because he also wants his family to be involved. So I think I would say that becoming a mother the first time needs also a lot of wisdom, because you are going to see another side of your husband's family, or you are going to see another side of the father of your child that you have not seen before. You know, you are going to see that side, and it calls for wisdom, not pride. It calls for wisdom, not arrogancy, on how to handle it. Remember, as you may say, and as it's true, this child is yours from your own womb and with your husband or the father of the baby. But there are other people, other people in the ancestry, in the line from where your child comes from. And those people are also there. They are interested. Some of you give birth to the long-awaited Musika, you know. And so people want to, you know, to show that they are kind of involved. So please let us be wise and know how to handle these situations when they happen. Then I would like to say, this is not a mistake, but it's like my final point is that we have to learn how to trust God as mothers. You know, we have to learn how to trust God as mothers. God has given us this big responsibility of mothering of giving birth and mothering our children. And also let us remember that so many people long to be mothers, or many people are paying so much money for treatment to be mothers. You know, and God just helps you. You just get pregnant, you know. You want a baby this year, next year you say, I want a baby next year, and surely you get pregnant and you are raising you. Who are you? Who are you? You know, God has shown so much favor. So God has shown so much love to you, and He has given you this responsibility. It's not a burden. It's not a burden. It's a responsibility. It's something that you have to do well, respecting the person who has given you this responsibility. As a mother, God has widened your circles. God has widened your boundaries by bringing these people into your life. And don't take it for granted. Embrace it with love. But also, it's coming with responsibility. It's coming with sacrifices. It's coming with more expenditure. It is coming with shaping of your own character, changing you every time. Because God is always changing us through our children. So put God first as a mother. Where you lack wisdom, ask him for wisdom. Don't ever be there in your house so depressed, so sad, thinking that you are alone. No, you are not alone. God is with you. You know that. Let your heart be comforted. And even in every crisis that you meet, in every situation that you feel you are depressed, know that God is there to give you wisdom and to give you counsel. You believe it. Believe it as you are there. Don't wait for dramatic stuff. No, not dramatic stuff. But know that God is there. So as I'm concluding, Harriet, I just want to give you 1 minute if you have any advice to give to the mothers before we close off this this session. It was supposed to end at 9:30, but Harriet, I want to give you a few minutes if you have something to say. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. Mothers, I want to tell you, parenting is very beautiful. And also let me speak about marriages because I'm officially married. Also marriage is beautiful. Let us raise responsible children, like the first speaker said. And one thing, the advice that I'm giving is parenting is a full-time job. I repeat, parenting is a full-time job. You are either in or not. Yes, that is all. Thank you so much, Mama Tendo. This has been useful. How I wish you can give Aunt Grace 1 minute to share with us another thing. I want to continue learning from her. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Harriet. Auntie Grace, I'm telling you, she's a woman of wisdom. We all have to accept. She's a high-flying woman. God has given her so many opportunities in Uganda and beyond Uganda, and she has taught so much. I want all mothers, by the way. I am going to send this on our WhatsApp group, and I want you to listen to that talk in full. Aunt Harriet, this talk was held about 3 months ago, but we like putting it on so that mothers can be able to hear and learn from her. I just want to read some comments from our YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. Naturinda Patricia, you sent us a message that you have been here, tuning in, listening. We have Okello Jacqueline. You were also listening to Grace's message and you liked it and you wanted us to make a full screen. We have Naume Angecho, informative discussion, be intentional about raising the child. Then we have Nathan Napako. She was here saying, we hear you, Harriet. We have Gloria Namudu. Thank you for being present. Martha Chikumvire, thank you for being present. We have Joanne Tukey, thank you for being present. Lillian, thank you for being present. I want to thank so much everyone who has been able to attend that talk on YouTube. Please don't miss these talks. Tune in, listen, let us grow together, let us be better mothers. God is with us. God is here to counsel us. God is here to give us wisdom. My husband, David, was online. I was going to ask him to pray, but I see he's not on. So I will take this opportunity to say a prayer, and we tune in. I would like to ask you, if you are on YouTube and you've not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. Encourage us so that we keep on doing more work. And then I would like to say that in the middle of August, about 15th or 16th, August is breastfeeding month. So we are going to have the breastfeeding seminar here on YouTube and on Zoom. So be present to listen and to learn. And then we have other things coming up. We have in September a winning seminar at the Mama Tendo offices, where we are going to teach mothers about winning. So also be there, as I said, motherhood, sacrifice, and learning. So I want to pray and then we shall close. Father, in the name of Jesus, we want to thank you so much for every mother that has tuned into this teaching. We are praying that you teach us. Teach us. Give us wisdom. Give us understanding. Show us how to raise children. It's not an easy task. Many times we are tried. Many times we get exhausted. But we are asking you to give us strength. We are asking you to give us counsel and to give us wisdom in all things. We thank you, Lord, and we bless you. In Jesus' name I have prayed. Amen. So thank you very much. See you mid-August, and let us all gather here to learn. Blessings.